Hey guys, Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach here today with another authority asset. Now you might be asking yourself, what's an authority asset, right? So it's kind of like I spent about 12 years in the mortgage banking business, and I worked a lot with financial advisors, and you all the time heard about their portfolios, right? Their portfolio of stocks and bonds and the type of assets that you can buy. And it really is an asset. It really is something that is long term. So that became ingrained in my mind with my years in the financial services world. Then about 9 years ago when I started my digital marketing agency, Marketing Huddle, it just really became something part of my vocabulary, thinking on the higher side of terminology and helping to bring a way for people to understand something very simply with using a common phrase like assets. And people have a nice connotation with an asset because typically an asset is a good thing. You think of your house, right? I mean, you might have a mortgage on it, but your house is something that can appreciate, that you can build on, that you can use as a foundation to build and grow. So if we think about our authority, our expertise, our trust, and the transparency and authenticity that we have with our target audience, shouldn't that also be an asset? Shouldn't that be part of our brand voice? And I say it should be. And let me tell you this. A few years back, content marketing burst onto the scene, right? It was so many people were, buy, and coupon and deadline and, get my widget. That content marketing kind of came on as a wonderful way to educate and teach your target audience in a very non-threatening way. And all of a sudden, people that would read some of these content marketing pieces, like a blog post or a video piece, things like that, they would understand that product or service or widget a little bit better than if they just saw a sales page or a brochure or a flyer, right? Well, I heard a statistic recently, or someone comment recently, that said something to the effect of content marketing no longer is a thing. Why would that be? Because really, content marketing is so vital that it needs to be the foundational piece to a good, solid marketing strategy anyway, so I call it something. So my vision and passion is that authority positioning marketing will do the same thing in years to come. Meaning, when you can build authority positioning assets to gather into your authority positioning portfolio so that you can show your clients and target audience and prospects all of the things that you stand for, your brand stands for, with your voice, your authenticity, and your care for them. And you care for them because you want to give them value even before you do business with them. Am I right? You read the book, The Go-Giver. Hopefully you have. If you haven't, go get it. It's a wonderful book on serving and giving as just a mode of doing business. When we can take what we know and become an educator and an advocate for our target audience, and put that out in multiple platforms, whether it is a video, whether it's a podcast, an article, a blog post, whatever you want to call it. And that's for a whole other conversation, right? But I'm going to teach you through this series, and I'm thinking about calling this series The Art of Authority. Because in reality, building your authority is your number one priority, and it's not as simple as filling in the blanks. It's an art form, and I'm going to show you some easy and fun and simple do-it-yourself tips. Because aren't you tired of seeing shiny object after shiny object in your Facebook feed of my course will help you and do this if you want to? In reality, you just need to know your stuff. You need to know your target audience. You need to know what you provide, your competitive advantage, how to articulate that with good messaging, story selling, storytelling, because remember, facts tell, but stories sell. So here's an example of what my product or service can do. But when you're doing that from a position of authority, guess what happens? Not only your target audience and your prospects see you and view you in a little bit different light, but you see and view yourself in a little bit different light. When you start seeing people responding and engaging with your content, that you're coming at them from a position of authority because you're teaching them. You're not speaking down to them, you're teaching them. And when you develop that brand and authority voice, now all of a sudden you've got something super powerful. And it's not a one-hit wonder. You don't just post one thing and go, where's the business? You've got to do it and continue doing it because consistency is the key. So let's think about this. Just like content marketing became so hot and now is not even a thing anymore because it's just darn good marketing strategy, right? I feel, and my vision is to have a movement, really, of people that know how to build their authority, know how to access things that will position themselves as the expert in front of their target audience. And now all of a sudden, anything that they're doing in their content marketing or their marketing campaigns is going to be seen and optimized and amplified that much more because it's coming from that position of authority. And that position of authority might be where you're seen. Think of it like this. If I was having lunch with a movie star and you saw that picture, wouldn't you think, dang, Mike's pretty popular. He's having lunch with this movie star. Yeah. I've seen some contacts of mine on Facebook and it's like, you're with so-and-so? Man, how'd you swing that? So now all of a sudden, if your content is being seen alongside other people's good content, could you get invited to speak for a summit in your target audience, maybe a telesummit or a webinar summit where you can speak to your area of expertise? Well, now all of a sudden, you're seen with this expert and another expert. And now you are being seen as that authority, that expert from that position of status. Doesn't happen overnight, and I'm going to teach you some ways that you can start slowly and easily and free and cheap and all of that. So stay tuned for other segments of the Art of Authority because I really feel like this is so big. We're on the brink of something big. We're on the brink of this movement because one day we're going to be seeing that when you can structure your content and your educational focus for your product or service in that light of authority so that you're seen as that expert and that person that can be trusted, because everyone has that know, like, and trust factor, correct? You don't want to talk to someone or work with someone that you can't trust, and believe you me, people are researching you before they even reach out to you. Your phone is not ringing, or your email is not, pinging, or your, scheduled appointments on Calendly or Schedule Once or Time Trade is not being loaded up because people are seeing things about you online or not seeing things about you online that they need to see. And in one of the upcoming episodes here, I'm going to talk about a really powerful strategy. And I taught it last week twice at 2 different marketing workshops that I did, and it's called ZMOT. So stay tuned for that. But for now, remember, building your authority is your #1 priority. Make it a great day.